Well, boy, he says also, a bold-faced revision of history, says Keith Christopher Rowley. I say, what? Prime Minister Dr. Gate Rowley has accused opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar of bold-faced revision of history with respect to the email gate matter. Thursday night in Barataria, in front of a crowd aging between 70 and 92, and only about 84 people, a Prime Minister got up and had an hour and 15-minute rant and rave, attacking everybody, providing no solutions, no hope, no way forward for Trinidad and Tobago. But Rowley said he did not know where the opposition leader got the notion, he said motion, but it's supposed to be notion, he's so stupid, that she was exonerated by Google. Quoting from the report of the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Joan Honoré Paul, woman, when Rowley quote you better hope he stay in office for you to get something, because that means you ain't worth nothing when Rowley quote you. Quoting from that person, Rowley said, Google first indicated that information regarding the email accounts in question could not be provided to the police in investigations in the absence of legal process. It is noteworthy that notwithstanding the apparent form and structure of the emails themselves, their content when matched against evidence of the prevailing circumstances in TNT was sufficient to reach the standard of probable cause. Hear that nonsense. Joan Honoré Paul, with all due respect, I will need you to explain to me. I don't know you, don't know your political affiliation. If you're an attorney, you would have to have a modicum of intelligence. I need you to explain to me how you wrote this, why you wrote this, and how you came to this conclusion, because it seems illogical. You state, it is noteworthy that notwithstanding the apparent form and structure of the emails, no ma'am, you cannot notwithstanding the apparent form and structure. The apparent form and structure meant that 29 out of 31 of the things he brought were not emails. And if they're not emails, they don't exist. So you cannot write an opinion that notwithstanding the evidence before you that shows that the things did not exist, that we move along even though they didn't exist, to say that whatever was written on the pieces of paper kind of resemble things that happen. That doesn't sound like a legal position. That doesn't sound like an evidence-based opinion. That doesn't sound like a justifiable position of an attorney or a deputy director of public prosecutions. In fact, it sounds like Rowley. Please explain to me. I don't know, you know. Please explain to me how the form and structure, notwithstanding the form and structure of the emails themselves. I mean, notwithstanding their form and structure meant that they were not emails. Let me prove to you, because I already went through this clown answered. I entered the debate back in May 20th, 2013, and if my little daughter tell you, I am the worst, I am a technological idiot, me and know them thing. I wish I didn't have to send an email. I wish I didn't have to do and type and send what I like, pen and paper. Look how I do in my show, pen and paper. All of them senators and thing, all of them, they laugh at me because I is a pen and paper man. But even I, with my daughter's self, technologically, back on May 20th, 2013, listening to this lying idiot, I and all could know that thing's so stupid, it's so dotish, it's so ludicrous, it's so nonsensical, so asinine, it's so disgraceful that I entered the debate one time. So Miss Joan Honoré Paul, I need you to explain to me, because I'm telling you, 29 of the 31 things that he read out are not emails. Therefore, they cannot go anywhere. You can type it, it goes nowhere. It doesn't go into the cloud, it doesn't go into the breeze, it doesn't go into the rain, it doesn't go into the tree, it ain't going to nowhere. It ain't going to the space between bundles' teeth, it ain't go nowhere. Honorable Anil Roberts jumps in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Here it is. They put Anan, A-N-A-N, at Gmail. And then they put a colon. And then they have another one, Anand, A-N-A-N-D, at TSTT. So you send in an email to one person at two addresses. You want to make sure they get it. Also, when you see, if you know emails, you would see the normal structure of an email. And these appear not to be the norm. The characters do not exist. Are you telling me in 6 months, the honorable leader of the opposition and the entire PNM team could not get some expert to go through and check the veracity and come here with a sworn affidavit of some expert to say that these things make sense? Now remember, this man had these pieces of paper in his hand. In Barataria, he come to tell all you, I had these things and I took it to the president to investigate. The who? The president could investigate what? The president has no ability, capability, resources, qualification, authority, or position to investigate anything. Why you didn't take it to the police, Rowley? Why you didn't say last night in Barataria or Thursday night, and I took it to the police? Or did you take it to the police and the police laugh at you? See, this is very important. Why would a primary, he in government, he in politics since he lost his first election in 1976 in Tobago. He in the Senate since 1986, December. And he don't know if you have evidence of a crime, take it by the police, take it to the DPP. How you take it? Who has ever taken anything for investigation to a president? The president could hardly even sip tea and eat scones. But this fool is telling you, you're going, yay, he took it to the president. Why? 6 months. Then he gone by Ken Gordon, the integrity commissioner, the chairman of the integrity commission. Why? In Newbury Hill. Ken Gordon, did you tell him, boy, Rowley, what's chipping into the way, going with this nonsense? But he still brought it and wasted the country's time. And up to now, this not only pathological liar, but this liar with stick-to-itiveness. He don't let go of a lie. He hold on to that lie like bundle skirt. He not letting go till it come down. You understand this, man? So now, Anil continued. This is 10 years ago. So I read out one of them. They said, one of the things concocted, call the Sunday Guardian editor and threaten her with ads if you have to. Just make sure the article doesn't come out. This fool reading out that, saying that one of the government ministers called an editor of the Guardian, who is the Guardian of Rowley K-Pax, to tell them, hey, if you print that flipping article, we ain't gonna give you no ads. So the Honorable Attorney General is instructing an advisor to call a Sunday Guardian editor to tell them, don't print a story, or else we read that in the Guardian. That would have been the story, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that have been the story? That a minister or security advisor of the People's Partnership Kamala government called to threaten an editor? You would have heard the recording. It would have been playing on I-95, the PNM 22 station. It would have been playing on 91.9, Iowa. It would have been all over, not so? And this did not strike the leader of the opposition as maybe questionable. The Guardian, who he is friendly with, would let a member of the People's Partnership call the editor and say, listen to me, take out our story or else, no ads, no money. And that did not make it to the front page of the Guardian. I find that a bit strange, said Roberts. I find that very curious. Well, we're moving along. And I've only looked through this, Mr. Speaker, not 6 months, 6 minutes, like Dougie Fresh, 6 minutes. I did not have 6 months to go through this. And the leader of the opposition comes in this house. I thought it is such an honor to be in this house. But today is a sad day. When we look through here, I read an email and the leader of the opposition said, read it out. I will not deal with some of the language. When I check some of the language and so on, I can tell you, I telling them, in 3 years, at that time I was in government 3 years, I have never heard the Honorable Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan, refer to the Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, as my lady. Whether in cabinet, in parliament, in relaxation, in political meetings, I have never heard that. But the email have Anand Ramlogan saying, my lady, my lady. Kamala is not a judge, she's Prime Minister. He referred to her as Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, or leader. And I never called Kamala Prasad Bisesa my lady. Continued. Rowley said, there's an email here that the leader of the opposition alluded to involving the U.S. Embassy. Hear this fool. And he read it out and he said that they spoke to Thomas. And he said Thomas Smitham. And I hope I am pronouncing it correctly. Smitham, the charge d'affaires of the embassy. There's one big problem, Mr. Speaker. The date of the so-called email in September 19th, Mr. Thomas Smitham did not arrive in Trinidad and Tobago until November 2012. The man read out the email. Smitham never even land in Piaco. He never gets stamped by immigration until 2 months after the purported email. This fool read out in the Hansard and still defending his lying crap. Thomas Smitham, Hansard, leader of the opposition, 6 months, September 19th email about Thomas, say Thomas Smitham. Thomas Smitham was not in the country. Check, says Anil Roberts, Minister of Sport. Call National Security, call Immigration, call the embassy, check it out. But did you all do that? The next day after this fool brought these things, did you all print? Rowley flops, lies, disgrace. Rowley desecrates Parliament. Did you all print that? No. You all let the fool bray. And then he became Prime Minister. And now the country is sunk. And Prime Minister, because somebody collected a bunch of paper with a bunch of stories on it. And we are actually listening to the opposition debate this. This was just about an hour and a half after he talked, you know. But 6 months, he say he had them thing and he bring that in the Parliament. And up to now, the media is still allowing this fool to talk about these lies. But let me also just indicate, and I will leave this, and for the media, please, before we embarrass the country on words that were said in this August House, I would love the media to investigate. Get a copy of this. Check it out. Don't take 6 months like the leader of the opposition and bring back. This is in the Parliament. I'm beseeching the media to check and research and show this man to be the liar that he is. And they did not, because the mass media is PNM back then and PNM now. See if it makes sense to you. See if the English adds up. See if the addresses add up. See if that is the form and fashion of what takes place. See if Mr. Smitham was here or not here. You all do your investigation because before you spoil and damage the reputation of our beloved country. That is why I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad today because you see me, I love politics. I love it. You understand? I want to make sure that the PNM never come back. But I would not go to any and all costs, Mr. Speaker. I will not make up things. I will not come in this house and discuss things that are not factual. So let us get on to a little bit of facts and I go on. In the PNM success, it is ensured when you do not perform well, you stay there long. 10 years ago, you know. Hear what I said 10 years ago. In the PNM, success is ensured when you do not perform well, you stay there long. The PNM never believe in merit. This is 10 years ago, Monday, 20th May, 2013. But you come here and does, I'll give them a little vernacular, not present an iota of evidence to show other than some fabricated pieces of paper that anybody could see. I don't know where that come from. But yet media and the country all allowed this. This is 2013. He went into an election with 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 of y'all believing this absolute feces that this man slung in the Parliament. Continuing. Mr. Speaker, this Monday, May 20th, 2013, the DPP, oh my goodness, DPP, look, we see in Rowley attacking the DPP right now on Thursday gone. Mr. Speaker, the DPP, This motion talks about our government, the Prime Minister's interference with the DPP. This government has not interfered with the DPP. This Honorable Prime Minister, meaning Kamala, member for Superior, did not veto any DPP appointment, did not determine or try to figure out who should go and who should not go. There has been no interference whatsoever in the DPP by Kamala Prasad Bisesa. What they have is this fabrication, this fantasy, this Star Trek 4 stating that somebody says they go in and tap. When we say tap, Mr. Speaker, we mean water. Bring some government juice. Give me a tap of water. Give me a glass of water from the tap. We do not even use that terminology. But here it is. All of a sudden, the leader of the opposition, because he's talking about Watergate, start to talk about tap. We are going to tap the DPP. I mean, in Parliament, let us be serious. Somebody says, we are going to tap the DPP. No, that is what he's talking about. Talking about Watergate and Nixon, and this government is going to tap the DPP. When we hear about tap, is when you have a head like mine, and it's sweet to give you a carpet. You get a tap in school, but he is talking about this tap. But the DPP, the people who live here and know the facts will know that the PNM vetoed DPP appointments. The PNM prime ministers used to use their veto powers to determine who will get into that office. We live here. I thought we will get some facts like this. And now you see this man in an all-out attack on the DPP while promoting and reading the nonsense of somebody below the DPP. The PNM games continue. Anil Roberts, Minister of Sport, continued in the debate brought about the pieces of paper brought by this fool. He come here with a SETA email. A SETA email that he had 6 months and could not come here and say, listen, I got this 6 months ago. I went to the FBI. I called in the US and asked them for experts. I got my financiers, my rich boys who getting plenty rent from the government. Andrew Gabriel, how are you going? Good night. I know you're watching. Andrew Gabriel, how are you going? I ain't talking about you, but I just like to tell you, hello, your bed looking good, Andrew Gabriel. Government to pay a company. But wait now, I was a real, you see, now, I reading this and I forget I say this, He didn't come here and say, I got my financiers, my rich boys who getting plenty rent from the government to pay a company to analyze these and get through the back of it. And here I present a report that these emails are totally 100% accurate. In 6 months, nothing from the leader of the opposition. Mr. Speaker, now we move on to the media. The media. I nearly choke because I was all right. I was a little media practitioner, on radio and TV and newspapers. I wasn't too bad. Stephen KD say, you thought you was good. Steve, you're going to calm down yourself now. Honorable Roberts again. I thought I was good, but no big thing. But when I read this motion that the leader of the opposition was accusing the People's Partnership and the Prime Minister of attacking the media, I must say, I choke on my chana with plenty pepper. I really choke. I had to swallow down with a red solo. Roberts continued, he is the best orator, talking about Patrick Manning. He is the best, talking about Colin Butt. Colin Butt wasn't the big motion of no confidence. And Colin Butt, the member for Dago Martin Northeast, absented himself. And I saying, but you come in with a no confidence motion in a primary, and you go want your best debater. Colin is your best debater. So I say, he's the best orator the PNM have. He's the best debater on the PNM side. I would think that when there is a motion of no confidence of such a critical nature, you don't leave your Lionel Messi on the bench. You come to debate to remove a prime minister and a government and make yourself prime minister, and you leave your big player, you leave your Russell Latapi on the bench. I don't understand that one. I cannot understand that. And when the leader of the opposition is wrapping up, I hope he lets me know where Dago Martin Northeast is. Why is he not here? And why he did not think this motion of no confidence was worth staying here, delaying a trip, unless, of course, it is a health issue. But you could clear up that. So call me, but I ask you, why did you absent yourself from the email nonsense, fabricated nonsense that this clown brought to the parliament? Is it true, Coleman, but that you did not want to be part of that pack of lies that you told Gate Rowley at that time in May 2013 that it was nonsense and that was too far, and you would not sit in parliament as he desecrated it with lies? Because you, Coleman, but are very technologically savvy. Back then with your BlackBerry, you was the first night, you like them thing, that what you like. And you knew it was nonsense. So Coleman Bear, I ask you, is it true that you absented yourself from the nastiness and desecration of Parliament you knew that this clown was coming to do on May 20th, 2013? Coleman Bear. You see, they bring a motion, they bring a serious motion, and they give no evidence that the motion is even deserving of being tabled in this Parliament. It is a waste of time. But you come and talk about some email, some fantasy document that in 6 minutes I could see if somebody brought this for me on Patrick Manning and the member for San Fernando East or Diego Martin West, when I on radio and so on, I would put this right, just walk out, turn right for about 10 paces and 4 paces. So because of that, where the water closet is, sir, that is where I would have put this nonsense, because I would have seen it as being totally malicious, fabricated, and not based on fact. Because when you're on the radio, you get lots of information. They had this thing email, this document going on about called a heart for years. As soon as I read it, I got it 14 times. But it was fraught with emotion and jargon that showed that it was not factual. I discarded that and didn't use it, because no matter how incompetent they are, no matter how I detest a father who would not mind his children, no matter how much I detest a man who will use his power as a teacher to get pum-pum from a girl of school age, no matter how I detest a clown who has no problem fornicating with his colleagues' wives, I would not lie on this clown. Furthermore, in 6 months, even if I wanted to, because I was emotionally, I wanted to get at them, in 6 months, I would have done something. I would have tried my best to verify the veracity, to make sure these things, if were possible, that it could be correct. But the leader of the opposition, he has all the resources, all these intelligence people around him, and he did nothing. He come here with this and embarrass himself, embarrass his party, embarrass Dr. Williams, embarrass the legacy of the PNM. That is 20th March. That was my immediate response to them, to Rowley's lies. He's still trying to defend that nonsense.